Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the light and dark treasure spawn they just came out with. Okay, so let's actually get into this whole treasure spawn. Okay, so with this treasure spawn, it's not going to be any gear within the feature gear piece. Like, the chance for you to obtain gear within the gear spawn, like any of the feature gear, is near mythical. So just expect it to be extremely difficult, if not near impossible, actually to the point of impossibility to actually obtain it within here, because they don't have any rates for that whatsoever. This is the first time half off, so you're going to be spawning a chest, and then you're going to be spawning 50 to 200 medals for each spawn. Keep that in mind, and you get double bonus each time after the first time half off, and each time you get a jackpot. After you get the jackpot, you have a double bonus chance that allows you to choose 2 chests after each and every spawn, and it's going to cost 30 gems from there. So this is going to be a pay to win spawn, and I'll even talk about that more in detail later on the spawn. But anyways, let's actually get into the spawn and what this is about. Okay, so right here in the jackpot contents, they offer 1 summoning scroll, they offer droplets of ether awakening orbs, they offer 2 feature gear, 2 chests with feature gear options, and then they offer treasure medals for 1k. I'm not even going to talk about the XP quest keys they offer, but moving on from there, this is the stuff they offer: 236s, then they offer 235s, they offer 234s, and then the rest are 33s down here. Now, when you're spawning for the summoning scroll, I want you to keep in mind that with the summoning scroll, the lower the cost, the higher the rates of the monster that's going to pop out. So if you're spawning for the summoning scroll through the jackpot, it's going to be of the stats you choose guaranteed. So that's what I like about summoning scrolls, and that's what I love about these throwbacks. Whenever they do these throwbacks, they should really do the summoning scroll concept a lot more, because it's beautiful and people love it. People love it. They don't throw gems down the drain, they don't work hard to their gems, or they don't spend so much for their gems, and then at the very end of the day, they might get the monster they want, but they don't get the stats they want, and because of that, it may or may not be ending up useless and just thrown aside and casted as fodder. A-team, when we work so hard for something, we don't like to be left hanging in the air, and this right here is a good concept to use. It's the summoning scroll concept. I like that a lot. But moving on from there, so with a summoning scroll, you actually get to choose the stats of the monster you like, so that way it correlates with the class you're playing as, and because of that, a lot more people are going to end up happy that you throwing just a feature gear guaranteed or featured monster guaranteed instead. So that right there is very, very nice. For all you free to plays out there, I don't recommend just going for the summoning scroll. I mean, you might be able to get the jackpot on your first try, right? But if you're unlucky and have to go for all 6 chests, it's going to cost 135 gems for you to get a jackpot. And the chances of you getting 34s, 35s, 36s out of the jackpot are going to be lower. I'm not going to say they're going to be extremely low. I have to try it for myself. But you're probably going to end up getting 33s. Rates say at least you're probably going to end up getting 33s more than anything else. It's possible, but you're probably going to get 33s. So keep that in mind as you are free to play. This is more of a pay to win. It's not going to be extreme super whale pay to win. If you do have some to spend, this might be good for you, but this is not going to be for 100% free to plays, or at least I really don't recommend this all too much for 100% free to plays. Okay, so now that we covered that, let's actually get to the feature gear. With the feature gear, they have the lightning dragon stuff. The lightning dragon stuff is absolutely some of the best stuff to use against the dark elemental. A dark element or any dark element quest, mission, event you're doing at all, whether it's Mobius, 40 cost dark, or 45 cost dark, whenever they come out with any of that, or whatever they have that's dark advantage orientated, this right here really does the trick for any of that stuff. So this right here is beautiful stuff, including the guild raids, because guild raids are going to be coming soon, and with the guild raids, they're going to be using dark monsters, and because of that, if you have light stuff that's light orientated, it works even better, or works in the best for you, and that right there is just, it really does help out a lot. So with this treasure spawn, definitely if you're working towards light and dark sets, which I recommend because they're going to come out with the light 40 cost soon, and then they have this dark raid that's out right now, that's dark elemental. It definitely works out with elements. Depending on how much gear score you're losing, elements are absolutely something you want to throw on, because they're going to help out a lot. They're going to help increase your DPS a lot with more elemental attack and elemental defense. They're going to help decrease your defense a lot if you're unfamiliar with them. But anyways, moving on from there, besides even that, some of these do have great skills. And they have abilities as well that increase your light element attack, the weapons right here. So they even work even past that point or beyond that point as well. Okay, so moving on from there. Okay, so right here, they have seals. Seals help with cost, and they do what physical testaments do. Reflection reduction helps against barrier. So if you're dealing with enemies that do barrier or have barrier, reflect, that is, hint hint, one of the examples of would actually be the 35 floor within the Tower of Judgment with that stupid Athena, the first one. They definitely, if you have 2 of these equipped, almost all reflect barriers you will be dealing with, right, are only going to do 1 damage back at you. So instead of doing damage that would pretty much leave you KO'd, it's actually going to do 1 damage to you. So that's going to help out a lot potentially with some stuff. This is great plan B gear, and it has good stats. It's 36 cost. 37 cost is the highest, but 36 cost is also no pushover. And then they have some almighty seals. Now keep in mind, they do have 2 of these sets are seals of a sets, so keep that in mind. But on top of it, they have different costs. Now with the skill tree, the 6th rank skill tree coming out with the percentages, the cost gap is going to raise even higher than it is. And I'm gonna just show you an example of how much it is even without the percentages coming from the 6th rank skill tree and any other percentages you have. Right here is a 32 cost, right? The 32 cost staff gives a max magic attack of 12k or nearly 13k if you round it. But if you look right here, this is only 3 cost higher. This one actually gives 21k. That's nearly almost double the amount, if not. And all it is a 3 cost difference. That's without percentages as well. Percentages are going to increase the gap even further between this 32 and 35 cost. So that right there is an example of like why I'm saying like this might be good for elemental sets, but personally I would recommend sticking with the stuff that's more up to date cost wise. The higher the cost, the more stats they're going to give, because it's really going to help out with your gear score and everything. And then they have some fatal testaments down here. Fatal testaments are nice skill. Maybe they might not give the best gear score anymore because they're only 33 cost armors. But with Fatal Testaments, they guarantee critical hits if they proc, and critical hits increase your ability power by 50. And depending on the moves you might be using, that could increase your damage massively. So that's why I'm saying that they might be useful and everything surrounding them. And then on top of it, maybe you would expect with 1k that they would actually like keep the prices the stupidly amount same, but that's not the case whatsoever at all. Seriously, they actually, I think A-Team actually got their stuff together. Because with some of the previous treasure spawns, right, they still offered, even though they only had like 1k out of all 6 chests, like 1k medals to offer out of all 6 chests, they would still leave it at like 10k summoning scrolls and stuff like that. They're not doing this. Thank you, A-Team. You were getting it together. You're finally looking at why your game's sucking and why people are leaving, because it's so dang stupidly pay to win. This right here is still pay to win, but this is not as bad as some of the stuff you've been doing, and for that we thank you, because this right here is definitely more fair, more cheaper, and more reasonable of a price to actually whale for this game than what you previously been doing. It's still a bit expensive, but this right here is not a bad spawn whatsoever. It's not too expensive whatsoever. It might be a good deal. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to try it out myself. But yeah, moving on from there, 4k for any of the 36 cost monsters, and they're going to be the most expensive thing out of this whole metal exchange if you're unaware. So the 36 cost monsters only cost 4k medals to actually obtain, and then from there it lowers even more, and then 33s only cost 2k. So right there is a very nice deal, a very nice amount that you should actually exchange for, and it's a lot more reasonable. I still wish it was a bit more cheaper still, considering this is only a phone game. But this is definitely not a bad price compared to all the stuff you've been doing. I'm not complaining whatsoever. The 35 cost weapons and 36 cost armors are 1.4k. So considering that they have 50 to 200 per each spawn you're getting, and then they have 1k and well the side chest, all you gotta do is hit one of those side chests, right, and then spawn a few times, and you could legitimately get one of these gear pieces. If not, you're getting it from the feature gear list within the one of the chests right here, because you have an option to do it twice. No, you don't have an option to do it twice, but when you spawn it twice, I mean, they have 2 chests. They have 2 chests that you may be able to get some of the feature gear in. So even if you don't, you can still choose for a cheap price to actually obtain the actual gear piece you want, compared to some of the other treasure spawns they've been doing. So that's very, very nice. It's not too expensive. It's not too bad of a shabby treasure spawn either. And then right here, they have some of the other stuff. And then they they take the 32s, the 33s, and put them to 800 metals. So it's even cheaper than that. So this right here is not a bad spawn whatsoever. If you're definitely working on elemental sets, this is the way to go. But if you're looking for something to replace your attack, absolutely. These lightning stuff, the light stuff right here, definitely do the trick. If you're just looking for something that places your regular attack quickly, it does the trick. And if you're working to elemental sets, I would recommend this. If you're not, I would stick with other stuff. There's abundant of stuff that's going to be coming out soon. Special spawns, SSR feature gear piece, class spawns, you got monster spawns, all those are free to play. You got treasure spawns if you're pay to win. Eventually they're going to come out with really OP treasure spawns, so you might want to save your gems for those. Or perhaps you might want to actually work on gear score. 36 cost, 37 cost are now a thing, so you could wait for those and do the metal exchange for those instead. And the 4th anniversary may be coming out very soon. And on top of it, 40 cost will be coming out very soon too. This is a good startup and actually warm up before 40 cost, and actually good to actually work on this. And guild raids, because the guild raids when they come out is going to be dark element orientated, so definitely it's very nice. It works for both ways for the future updates that will be coming out eventually very soon. But yeah, if you're working on gear score, if you're working on becoming stronger and not really elemental sets, I'd stick with other spawns. If not, this spawn's definitely not a bad one. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching, and I hope this helped out. This is the AzureWrath, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.